everybody. How's it going? Wow, we're back. We made it. It has been a little while. Hey, Ruby, how's it going? Hope that you're doing well tonight. Sorry, everybody, that it is a little bit later than I normally stream. Life has been insane. Life has been insane, and the holidays are not good for the schedule. But I'm really excited to be back tonight because we are going to be playing Arkham Horror, the card game. We're going to be doing our second scenario. Last time, about a month ago, if you were watching that scenario, we were just kind of figuring out what was going on, seeing what was going on in our crazy house, and dealing with all kinds of ghouls and crazy people that were in our halls for some reason. And tonight, we burned our house to the ground because, you know, because ghouls, and because we needed insurance money. Because we have crazy hospital debts, and we're going to go out into the town. We've found a very reliable source named Lita Chandler, who, you know, she seems pretty cool. She's a torch-wielding zealot, so she seems fairly trustworthy, and we decide that we're going to, you know, we're going to hang out with her for a little bit, see what she has to say. Hopefully, that sounds interesting to you all. If it doesn't sound interesting, that's okay. You can hang out or not. If you are in chat, though, absolutely say hey, what's up. I know Ruby already said hey. I'm so glad to see you, Ruby. I hope everything's going well for you. And we're about to just go ahead and hop in. But before we do that, we're going to watch a quick bumper. Oh man, if that doesn't get you all jazzed and fired up to play this spooky game, I don't know what will. Just a few quick housekeeping things to knock out of the way before we get going into the scenario. As you remember from last time, we earned some XP. So this game is kind of a deck building game, deck construction game, where you will earn experience points throughout the story depending on kind of what type of outcome you achieve during the game. There's no real winning or losing, there's just progressing the story, and you can progress with a lot of experience, or you can scrape by the hair of your chinny chin chin, as it were. Last game we did pretty well. We managed to get out with 5 experience, so I have traded in a couple of cards. Hey, what's up, Ben? What's going on? Oh, there's going to be all kinds of attacking going on tonight. You don't even know. I've got Lita Chandler. She is real ready to attack. She's got all kinds of grudges that are going to be held. I also, I think I'm going to try and kind of rely on allies in this game. So Lita comes for free. She's a really good ally that has no cost to play. And then I've also spent my experience points. So last game we had 5 XP to spend, which I can spend on these cards. So when you get XP in this game, you can buy better versions of the cards that you have access to. So Skids O'Toole has blue and green cards in his base deck. So I spent 1 XP on a better version of Leo DeLuca. So you can see that you'd spend 1 because he has 1 little pip underneath his 5 cost thing in the top left of his card. That's how much XP you have to spend to buy that card. Then I'm going to unlock the police badge, which costs 2 pips. So that was 3 of my XP. And then for the last card I wanted to buy, I bought the cat burglar, who will help me get some evade stats and will give me a pretty cool exhaust action that I can use to disengage from enemies, which combos pretty well with some of the cards that I have in my deck. Oh, nice. Yeah, Ben was telling me earlier that he's working on his green screen, which I think is going to be super cool. I need to get a green screen going in here. That would be sweet. Now, when you do upgrade your cards, though, you have to get rid of old cards in your deck. So Lita does not count against my deck limit, so she comes into the deck for free, but I do need to get rid of 3 cards. So I'm straight up upgrading Leo DeLuca, so I'm replacing his worse version with a slightly better version. I don't think I'm going to use the Beat Cop, so I'm exchanging the Beat Cop for the police badge. I told him, you know what, I love all your information, I love what you're doing, but I don't need you, I just need your badge to do shady stuff. I just need to pretend to be a cop, I don't need an actual cop. So I told him to hit the bricks, and then I also got rid of the knife, because I feel like I will be doing some attacking, but to be honest with you, I'm going to be mainly trying to like evade and be sneaky and schizo-tooly, and get around people and evade stuff. So these are the 3 cards that I got rid of, and then these are the 4 cards that I got access to. So I'll go ahead and put those in my deck and shuffle everything up after I flip it. And that's really the only upkeep to talk about. We have our new scenario set up. So we are now in the town of Arkham because we've discussed with Lita outside of the house what was happening, and we were like, man, that's crazy. Our house just burned down. There were ghouls everywhere. She was like, I know, for real, but there's more stuff going on. Come with me. So we did, and we'll get some more, we'll get some actual flavor text here in a bit. But that's essentially what happened. So now we are out in the streets of Arkham. There is a Your House location in town, but we removed it because we burned our house down at the end of the last scenario. So we have 1 fewer location to explore. We have our normal encounter deck of not fun things that we'll have to deal with. We have a special cultist deck. There are some people in town who may not be what they appear to be. They might be super secret cultisty cultists that are trying to, do some sketchy mess. But other than that, we'll just need to read some flavor text, and then we're ready to go. Let's see here. What are we talking about? Green screening is pretty dang simple to set up. Get a green sheet. Yeah, there's really not much of an excuse not to have a green screen, other than this is like technically my work video call background too. Although, that could be fun. Just like green screen in a cubicle behind me or something. I don't know. I could make it feel more corporate-y with a green screen. All right, let's get some flavor text and see what's going on here. So we're in part 2, the Midnight Masks. Lita was not forced to find others to help her in her cause, so we will go ahead and skip to intro 2. In the wake of the disaster at your home, Lita Chandler, the red-haired woman from your parlor, lays out a tale that, even in light of what you've just witnessed, strains the limits of your belief. The creatures in your home, she claims, are called ghouls, hence the name on the card. Cruel beings who plague the crypts, caverns, and tunnels beneath the city of Arkham. These creatures feed on the corpses of humans, and they are served by a dark cult within Arkham whose members have inexplicably come to worship the ancient master of the ghouls. This cult has been killing innocent people and feeding them to the ghouls, satiating a monstrous hunger. A dark balance was maintained until now. You guys screwed it all up, Lita thought, judgingly. Recently, Lita continues, one of their lairs, where the corpses were stored, was destroyed. Since then, the ghouls have been more active than usual. I've tracked their movements and tried my best to stop them from running amok through the city, but I think there's something worse going on. The cult has been planning something darker and more ominous, something more than anything I've yet observed. Indications are that this plan shall come to fruition tonight, shortly after midnight. Beyond that, I cannot fathom what to expect. Many of the cultists, Lita continues, will seem like everyday people despite their foul intentions. Whenever the cult meets, its members don masks, shaped like the skulls of various animals to protect their identities from one another. These masks are our mark, symbols of death and decay. We must unmask the cultists to expose and derail their plans. We have but a few hours. The more cultists we find before midnight, the better. I mean, this should be easy. We'll just find the people in the masks. We got them. They shouldn't have worn masks, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to tell who they were. So anyway, that's the rundown. Apparently there are ghouls that used to be just under the streets, but now they're crawling up out of their holes and infecting the town, and there's some type of ceremony that we have to stop before midnight. So essentially what's happening in this game is we only really have 2 act cards, agenda cards rather. So, and then we only have the 1 act card. So basically, Lita is telling us about this conspiracy. We have to try and find as many cultists as we can, as many of these cultists from the cultist deck, and defeat them as we can before our time runs out. And the time will run out pretty quickly because there are cultists that'll come up in this game that will count against our doom level, which is normally something that, you know, just happens once per round. And it only takes six doom to advance to the next agenda deck, and there's only 1 more agenda deck, so we really only have 14 doom to do as much of this as we possibly can. I soloed this physically at the table, and it was real tough. Let's see here. Yeah, this is the second scenario in the core box bin. So this, I'm doing just the base scenario because with all the new content coming out in the new base box, I thought I was going to kind of dig into this game again because I had it and had just never played it. So I want to like play through the entire campaign from the base box before I start getting into some of those the one-off campaigns. Now we can resign early. From this scenario, we don't have to go through the whole thing. We can resign whenever we want, as long as we survive. And we really only have 1 act card, so we have 1 night to find the members of this cult and unveil their plan. The more members of the cult you can find and interrogate before midnight, the better. And we can actually spend clues to reveal the cultists by like taking off their masks. So an action that we can take is we can spend 2 clues. As a group, draw the top card of the cultist deck, and when you draw cards from this cultist deck, cultists will spawn at these different locations, and then we will then have to go and deal with them. But our objective for this scenario, once again, is just to find as many as we can and try and add them to the victory display. If there are 6 unique cultists in the victory display, advance, which that is not going to happen. Yeah. So they just released, Ben's asking about the new base box. So they just released, or the new core set, I guess, like the revised core set, which is just a reworking of, it's the exact same thing from the old core set, but there's enough cards for 4 players to play instead of 2, so you don't have to buy 2 base boxes anymore. And some of the artwork, I think, has been slightly reworked, is really the only change. All right, so that being said, we're ready to go. Let's do this. We're going to take our turn. We start off by drawing 5 cards. Let's see what I get. If I drew any paranoia, which I don't think I did. Honestly, this is a pretty good starting hand. If I got, yeah, I got my Darren. So I got an asset here. I got some free events to give me some stuff. Opportunist is pretty good. I got another asset for the flashlight, which will help in my searches, all kinds of stuff. This is not a bad hand at all. I think I'm ready to go. So to start off, let's see here. Once again, the round summary, the round sequence will start off with the Mythos phase, but we skip that and go straight into the investigation phase. And there are, if you want a quick refresher on how to play, my previous video went into that a little bit, basically what you can do on your turn. Most of what you're going to be able to do on your turn is just research different locations to find clues, play cards from your hand, or try and use cards that you have out in play already. Now, we are technically at this location, so it should be flipped. And when this location is flipped, it gives us a little bit of flavor text. There's something unsettling about the water of the Miskatonic River tonight. It ripples and bubbles as though everything is moving, as though something is moving beneath the surface. We get 1 clue on this location because it says 1 per character. That's on the 1 on the right side of the card. And then the shroud value to find a clue is only 1 at this location. So it's pretty easy to find stuff at this location. And trust me, that changes really quickly. Some of these locations are really hard to investigate. So I wish I had Leo DeLuca. To be honest with you, I wish I had Leo DeLuca in my starting hand. And in fact, what I may do is I may do a mulligan to see if I can get some better cards. So it would be nice to have an ally out early. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these 3 cards. Even though these are great cards, I'm going to get rid of these 3 cards and hope that I get better cards. So let's draw 3 more and see what we get. Okay, backstab, that one's not bad at all. Man, I got a ton of resources, so that's good. Sneak attack. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I didn't get any ally, which I have quite a few allies in my deck, but that's okay. I still got a pretty good starting hand. All right, so first action, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just play out my 41 Derringer. This is a great card to have. It costs 3 resources. You can see that on the top left. It takes up 1 of my hand slots. I have 2 hand slots. And it is going to cost me 3 of my resources, which is okay because I have a couple of emergency cash cards, that's insane that I have just 6 resources sitting there ready to go when I need them. So this one has 3 ammo on it. It gives me the ability to do better in a fight, which will happen in this game. And some of these cultists are really, really brutal. So having increased fight stats would be a lot of fun. This is a great game, Ruby. I really enjoy this game. And I also enjoy Marvel Champions. The only downside to these LCG games from Fantasy Flight is how much they release. Like, I had a hard time keeping up with all of the releases. It's happened with Marvel as well. And the only saving grace for these types of games for me is that I can solo them. Otherwise, I would get lost really quickly with all the... Because I don't have a group that we play with fairly regularly, so it's nice to be able to solo these. Yeah, for sure. It is very hard to keep up. Let's see here. So I've spent that. I have three uses there. I've used 1 of my 3 actions. So I think what I want to do now, I could get 3 resources. I could just go ahead and start moving around the town because honestly, finding clues and moving around the town is what I'm going to need to do. In this scenario, I wish I had some different cards where I could play out an ally to kind of get me some more actions or something like that. I do also have Skid's special ability that I didn't use last game at all, where I can spend 2 resources and take an additional action, which honestly, since I have so many resources available to me, might not be a bad call at some point during this game, but we'll see what happens, or if I need to. The other thing, these are both attack cards. So let's see. I have a research value of 3 and a shroud value of 1 here. Do I have any cards that I could commit to a test? I do have this 1 card that I could commit to a test if need be. But honestly, I think I might just try and research or investigate and get this clue. So I've got a shroud value of 1, stats of 3 to 1. That's not too bad. So I might go ahead and try that. So what I'll do is I'm trying to investigate, so I need to overcome a shroud value of 1. I've got base stats of 3. Let's see what happens. Let me shuffle this first. For some reason I had to shuffle before I drew every time to get a different token. And I got a 0, so we succeed. Fantastic. So my second action, I investigated. I now have 1 clue, which is great because in this scenario I need to get 2 clues to go ahead and try and draw a cultist to fight and get in the victory pile, and try and get as many of those as I can. So that's good. And I think for my third action, I might go ahead and just move to a different location. So this location is connected to all of these different locations. I could go to the university. I could go to South Side. I could go to, let me see, I could go to the graveyard. It looks like I can't actually go to the hospital. That's interesting. So I would need to go down to South Side or go over to the university before I could go down to the hospital. I could go to the graveyard. It's at the foot of French Hill. Some of the headstones date back to the 17th century when the earliest colonists came to Arkham. I was about to say, considering what happened in your house, you're not super keen on heading over there. That's kind of a risky move. Let's see here. I could go ahead and head up to... No, I can't actually get to downtown either. Interesting. So I could go over to North... No, I can't. Okay. So I'm kind of limited here. I could go... Where's the little moon? So I could go to East Town. Interesting. East Town neighborhood situated in the northern banks. Yeah, let's go to East Town. Third action, I'll go to East Town. So let's flip that and see what happens. All right, not too bad. We've got... Oh my goodness. This is cool. Okay, so what I want to try and do as much as possible, if at all possible, is get an ally that I can play out because East Town reduces the cost of our allies by 2. That's fantastic. Okay, sweet. So we get 1 clue at this location. That's my third action. I think I'm going to go ahead and just be done. I'm going to save my resources for now, and then just move on into our upkeep phases. So we don't have any enemies, so there's no enemy phase. Then we do our upkeep phase, where I will draw a card. Please be an ally. Hard Knocks. So that's not an ally, but that is an asset that will help me. So I'm really glad to have that for sure. And then we've got our, I get 1 resource, and then if I have more than 8 cards, I discard, but I'm okay there. And then we will go on to the Mythos phase. So we draw our first encounter card, unfortunately, and we get a Doom on the agenda. So +1 Doom. We are now 5 away from advancing this. Let's see what we get from our encounter deck here. If you have no clues, False Lead gains Surge, which is really bad. If you have 1 or more clues, test 4. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, I'm probably going to fail this. I'm going to fail this, but let's see. Maybe I'll get the +2. Who knows? So I would have to test, I'm going to have to test Investigation. I could get rid of some of these cards. I could get rid of this card, but honestly, that sneak attack is going to be really nice to have later in the game. I don't think I want to do that. So I'm going to just see what I can do here. So let's draw a Chaos token. What does this mean in this scenario? That means -2, place 1 Doom on the nearest cultist enemy. So there is no cultist enemy out, which is really good because that would suck. But I do have to get rid of my 1 clue that I worked so hard to research. It's now at this location. A 2 Shroud value is not terrible, especially if I can get this card out there. Well, no, that one won't help me with investigating, but I can do some things to help with my investigations here in a little bit. Anyway, that's the Mythos phase. We've done our Doom, and we've done our encounter card. So now we're going to go ahead and take our turn again. So let's see what we can do. We definitely want to do some investigating. And I want to get out this Hard Knocks card to try and build up my stats a little bit. So first things first, I want to go ahead and spend these 2 resources and get this card out there. This guy is a guy who's drinking with a gun. That is a good call. Nothing bad can happen because of this. So I've spent my 2 resources. That's my first action. Do I want to just go ahead and try and investigate? That would be a tough test to pass, because I would need to pass a 2 with a 3 stat here, because my investigation book skill is only 3. Or do I want to just try and draw a card before I investigate to see what I get? Let's do that. Let's draw 1 card as my second action, see what I get. Hey, there we go. That will help my investigation quite a bit. Okay. So I can't spend it. I can't do it this turn unless... Ooh, here's what we could do. All right. Third action. No, I'm not going to have enough. I wouldn't be able to because... Well, I could at least play it out. So let's do this. Third action, I'm going to go ahead and play my emergency cash. I get 3 more resources. 1. Nope. 1, 2, 3. I can use Skid's special ability to go ahead and spend 2 resources. Although that would get rid of all of my that's okay. I'll do that. I'll spend 2 resources to take an extra action on my turn. That's his special ability. And I will then spend my last 2 resources to play out my flashlight. So that way, I'll at least have it out so that next turn I can start right away investigating. So these are my 2 hand slots right here. I've got both my hands full, which honestly, if you're looking at this picture, I've got 1 hand full of gin, and then my second hand with a flashlight, and my third hand, I have a 41 Derringer. No problem. That's how it works in real life. All right, so those are all of my actions. I've completely tapped out my resources, but that's okay because I've got some good stuff out. So let's go ahead and go through our different phases. We don't have an enemy out yet, so once again, the enemy phase will not trigger, but we do have our upkeep phase. So I'll draw 1 card. Hopefully it's not some type of a... Ooh, that's really good. If I can defeat an enemy, I can just get a free clue. That comes in really handy with some of these other locations with high shroud values. And then I do get 1 resource back from the bag, so that's fantastic. All right, sweet. So we have done our upkeep phase. Now we're going to go ahead and do our next Mythos phase. So another Doom, unfortunately. We will draw a card, see what we get. Oh, here we go. Acolyte. These guys start wrecking my business really quickly. Okay, so with the Acolytes, you have to spawn them at any empty location. So we can pick which location they want to be spawned at. And honestly, I want to spawn them at a place where I can get to them pretty quickly. And I want to spawn them at a spot where I could gain a clue. So I think I'm going to spawn them at the downtown location because I can go to the downtown location from here. And I'm sure there will be clues at the downtown location. I would have spawned him here, but then if I go here and then use my evidence card, it wouldn't do anything because there's no clues at this location. So I think I want to spawn him there to potentially get another clue. Now, unfortunately, when the Acolyte enters play, you have to place 1 Doom on the Acolyte, and let's see here, where's the Doom tokens? Flip. Oh, they both say clue. Anyway, the Doom tokens on these enemies add to the Doom total. So really, we're at 3 instead of 2. Because if you don't take these guys out, all of the Doom that's piled up on them counts against your total, which stinks. It can really advance the agenda deck and put you in a bad spot. So that's that. That's unfortunate, but that's okay, because it's back to our turn, and we can do some pretty cool stuff pretty quickly. I'm trying to decide if I want to go straight away and attack this dude. He only has 1 health, and I would need to overcome a strength value of 3, and I've got a 3. But I could spend resources and use this to make it a better attack. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to move for my first action. I'm here. I walk into town and I say, "Hello, Acolyte. Fight me." There we go. Sweet. This place gets 1 clue and it has a shroud value of 3. So I'm actually really glad that I'm coming here to hopefully defeat this guy and then use this card, because that would be really, really nice. Although I would need 1 more resource to be able to do that, because this card costs 1. So before I attack him, I probably need to gain a resource as an action, or draw 1 card or gain 1 resource. I just need 1 resource to be able to do this. And I might want to save this card. Or do I just want to go ahead and spend my emergency cash? Does that make sense? I might want to save it. All right, so I'm going to use an action. First action, I came over here. Second action, I'm going to gain 1 resource. Third action, I'm going to attack the Acolyte, and I'm going to boost my attack as much as I possibly can. So I'm going to use, I'm actually going to use my 41 Derringer as a weapon to boost my stats, and then I'm going to spend 1 resource to activate my Hard Knocks talent to get 1 more fight. So my fight is going to be 3 plus 4 because of this, 5, 6 because of this. And if I succeed by 2 or more, this attack deals +1 damage, but that doesn't really matter because this guy's only got 1 health up there in the middle of his card. So really I'm just trying to beat this guy, just hit him once. So if I can beat a 3 with a 6, I win. So let's see what happens. Let's shuffle. Shuffle, come on. I need a good draw, and that was a very good draw. Fantastic. All right. So I defeat this Acolyte, and because of that, I can play this fast card. It doesn't cost an action, but it does cost 1 resource, which I got right before the attack. So not only do I beat this guy and reduce our doom, but I also get a free clue, which is fantastic. All right, clue from the location. Sweet. This guy goes away. Our doom is back down to 3 instead of, or 2 instead of 3, which is not too bad. All right, so that's my turn. Oh, wow. This location just has a once per game gain 3 resources action. That's really good. Okay, sweet. I can do that on my next turn before I head out. Okay, so we don't have an enemy phase because we just took out the enemy. So we will go straight into our upkeep phase. We'll draw a card, see what we get. Ally, please. Police badge. That's an asset. It's pretty good. Yeah, I'll probably try and play that one out to boost up my willpower stats. That's one of the reasons I bought this card. It gives you a boost to your willpower, and that's my worst stat. So that'll bring my willpower stat up to 3, which will be very helpful throughout this campaign, I think. Sweet. Oh, although this takes up a neck slot, an item slot. I don't think I have any other. Okay, so I do have space for it, so that's good. Okay, sweet. And then I also gain 1 resource. Oh man. And then we are ready to go into the next Mythos phase. I gotta take a breather. This is intense. This is getting really intense. I hope all 3 of you that are watching, I hope that y'all had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I know that I had a pretty good time. I was able to go to BGGCon before Thanksgiving, and then we actually went to Thanksgiving and saw some family, which was great, and I ate way too much. Ruby, Ben, I hope you both had a fantastic time with family, hopefully. Oh man, all right, we are going straight into the Mythos phase. So let's go ahead and do our next encounter card. We got to do a Doom first. So we're at 3 Doom. We're actually doing really well on Doom, I feel like. Yoicks. Okay, Hunting Knight Gaunt. That guy looks friendly. He's a hunter. While attempting to evade the Hunting Knight Gaunt, double the negative modifier of each revealed chaos token. Fantastic. And he's only got 4 health. Look at that. So this is a situation where I am really glad that I kept this sneak attack card because I'm going to need to try and kill this guy with Death of 1,000 Cuts. And I have a backstab card that'll let me use. Oh man, that's fantastic. So I could potentially spend 1 entire round trying to defeat this guy, which may be worth it because I don't have an ally out to soak up any damage or sanity. Yoicks. Okay, he spawns with me, unfortunately, so he is in my threat region. It's just me by myself. I'm sorry, Ruby. I hope you at least got to eat some good food, or you know, with the football Cowboys were on, so that was a pretty good game that day as well. That was a nail biter. If you're in Texas, I know Ruby's out in West Texas. Attempting to evade this guy. Okay, man, that's the worst. So this next round is going to be dealing with that guy. Unfortunately, we have to. Okay, so it's now my turn. So what do I want to do? I want to try and evade this guy as quick if at all possible. So I have an evade stat of 4. That's the foot with the wings. And he's got a really low evade value, so I'm +3 on my evade, which could be good, although he has his thing that says if I'm evading him, I get to double the negative modifier, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully I don't get something too crazy. I could spend a resource to get +1, which honestly is probably a pretty good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and spend that resource. I now have a 5 to his 1. And let's see what happens here. So I'm evading. Shuffle. Shuffle. Come on, what do I got? A -1, which turns into a -2, but I'm still able to evade him, so that's really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do some damage to him, if at all possible, because I could then potentially do a backstab fight on my next turn and defeat him. So what I'm going to do, he's now evaded, so he's exhausted. I'm going to use this location's ability to gain 3 resources, so that I can only do that once per game, but that's a really helpful ability, so I'm going to do that. And then on my as my third action, I'm going to play this card by spending 2 of those resources and dealing 2 damage to this guy. So I will deal 2 damage to this enemy, which honestly, I know, like, I could save that damage for the cultists that come out later, which would be really helpful, but this guy is just going to be a real pain to deal with if I don't deal with him. So I'm going to try and deal with him if I possibly can. Now those are my 3 actions. Those are my 3 actions, and hopefully we'll be able to do something else to get rid of him on our next turn. Monster phase, he doesn't move, but he does flip during the upkeep phase, so he's now active again. He does have two damage on him, which isn't too bad. And I'll get a card and I'll get a resource, which will be, I need all the things. Let's see here, Opportunist, commit to only use. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a good card. And then I get 1 more resource. This card is good because it's a wild skill symbol that I can put towards anything, and if I succeed by 3 or more, I get to keep it, but it's just that you don't normally succeed by 3 or more during a skill test, especially the farther in the game you get. Anyway, okay, so we have our next Mythos phase. So we got 1 more Doom, and we have found no cultist. This is not going well. If I can get 1 more clue, I can reveal a cultist, 1 cultist at least. So we'll see what happens there. So we'll go ahead and do our next encounter card. Let's see what I get. Crypt Chill. If you fail, choose and discard 1 asset you control. Oh no. And I have to. If I can't discard an asset, I have to take 2 damage. That's a bummer. Okay, that is a bummer. I only have, let's see, I only have 2 assets, and both of them are really good. Both of them are really good. Oh man. I feel like the flashlight will be more helpful. Man, they're both really helpful. But anyway, okay. So I have to test 4, and unless I get a +2, I'm going to fail because I only have a stat of 2. So it was a negative, but I still fail. Or it was a 0, but I still fail. So I have to get rid of an asset. Oh man, getting rid of that Derringer would hurt. But I do have some allies that can help me in my attacks. So I'm going to get rid of my Derringer so that I can hopefully get more. Allies out and get more clues rather. Oh, you're not a Dallas fan. Well, Ruby, you dodged a bullet there. Because let me tell you, it's a white knuckle ride if you're a Cowboys fan in the past 15 years. All right, so we've done this, and this is real bad. And now it is our next investigator phase, and we have this beautiful, wonderful monster Night Gaunt all up in our business, looking like something from Pan's Labyrinth and wanting to destroy us. So let's see here. Gain 3. We've already done that. What can I do to defeat this guy? I could use the backstab, although to do that I would need 1 more resource, and if I gain a resource, holy cow, if I gain a resource, that I will have to take an opportunity of attack because I'm not fighting or evading. Ooh, yikes. Okay. So the question is, do I try and evade first, save my backstab for later? Ugh, man. But if I don't get rid of this guy, it's going to start to pile up, and the enemies are going to start to pile up. But I don't have enough resources to play. Boy, oh boy. Okay. So I guess what I'll try and do is evade him first to just see if I can get more resources. So I'll go ahead and try and evade. I've got a 4 to his 1. But if I get any negatives, they're doubled. So let's see what happens here. Oh, the skull is bad. The skull is bad. Oh no, it's not anything because there is no cultist in play. Fantastic. So I don't fail. I don't fail. Oh, Ruby, you're a Chiefs fan. Well, then you've had a great couple of years in the past couple of years. You got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You're in good shape. All right, this guy is evaded. He is not hurting us anymore currently, and hopefully. Oh man, I could just go ahead and move and try to investigate, but then he would move during the next monster phase, so I would have a phase to deal with him. Yeah, let's do that. I've done what I want to do at this location. Let's go ahead and just move over here. That's our second action, and let's try and okay, this should have some supplies on it. Let's go ahead and use one of these uses to try and investigate this location, which would allow us to, as an action, okay, so we would have to take an action to spawn a cultist, but that's okay. All right, so let's use one of these resources. We are using our flashlight to reduce the shroud value by 2 at our location. So this is now a shroud value of 0. So I'm trying to investigate with a 3 to a 0. So let's see what we get. Let's shuffle, see what we get. +1, fantastic. We get a clue. That is great. That's our third action. You know what? I could spend these 2 resources because I have the emergency cash card. I could just go ahead and spend these 2 resources, get myself an extra action. Yeah, let's do that. Let's try and get another clue. Let's spend this. We're going to reduce our shroud value by 2 more, one more time. Let's shuffle, see what we get. That is not anything too terrible because we have no cultists in play. We got ourselves 2 clues. That is fantastic. That's what I'm talking about. All right, sweet. So that is our next phase. It is the enemy phase now. This enemy is exhausted, so he doesn't move. Even though he does have the hunter keyword, he is exhausted, so he doesn't move over towards us. But we will now do our upkeep phase. I'll draw my 1 card. Hopefully it's an ally. Ooh, it's on the lam. This is Schizo Tool's special card in his deck. Let's see what this one does for us. Until the end of the round, non-elite enemies can't attack you. That could be really cool. Excuse me. It could also it also just has 2 wild symbols. That's a great card. And I'm going to need to play some of my cards here pretty quickly. I would love to play out the police badge. I could do that on my next turn. We could also spawn a cultist on our next turn. We've got options. All right, so let us do a thing. So I've drawn my card. I gained my 1 resource. These enemies, this enemy unexhausts, and we go into our Mythos phase. So let's see what we've got going on in the Mythos phase. We've got 1 more Doom. We've really got to... We're probably, if we're lucky, maybe going to get 1 or 2 cultists before the Doom runs out, if I'm being honest, because this is not going super quickly so far. And we have to do another encounter card, so let's see what we get. Oh, another cultist. He is going to trigger the thing. Okay, at any location. So let's put him back here, at any empty location. So we have to put him at an empty location. So let's put him here. He does get a Doom on him, which means that puts us at 6, which will go ahead and reset this. Flip this Doom. Ooh, look at this friend. The Masked Hunter. Sorry, it won't turn right side up. Let's just zoom way in. All right, the Masked Hunter. Spawn engaged with prey. Prey is whoever has the most clues. He's on me. Oh no. Okay, he's on me. He is real tough. I'm very glad I kept this backstab card. Okay, he's on me. No big deal. What else does he say? He gets +2 health per investigator, so he's got 6 health, not 4. While you're engaged, you can't discover or spend clues. Okay, so we're not able to do what we wanted to do. We reset our Doom, which is good, because we only have 8 left, and 1 is already on this cultist down here. And we've got a hunter on the way towards us. I don't think this is going to end well. Let's see what... You know, it's looking real good, everybody. It's looking really good. Oh boy, let's see what happens. All right, so we've done that. We've done our phase, our Mythos phase, and now we're going to move on to our Investigator phase. We really can't do much other than... You'll be fine, says Ben. See, Ben cut his teeth on Robinson Crusoe, the game of despair and gloom. So this situation is probably looking like, you know, just a nice leisurely Tuesday evening to him compared to what you normally deal with in Robinson Crusoe. Oh my goodness. All right, so I need to, before I do anything else, I need to try and evade this guy. He's got an evade value of 2. I've got an evade value of 4 that I could pump up to 5 for the skill test, and I think I will. So I'm going to get rid of this resource, and action 1, try and evade this guy. So I need a 3 or greater. Let's shuffle and see what we got. Whoa, that's not good. -3. If you fail, place one of your clues on your location. Okay, so I just succeeded with an even score there. -3 put me at =2, but that still exhausts him. So he's exhausted and not up in our face for now, although during the enemy phase, we are going to have this guy, this Knight Gaunt, come over and get in our business again as well. Okay, sweet. What we could do, though, for our second and third action while he's exhausted is we could go ahead and get rid of our emergency cash. Let's get 3 resources. And let's see if we can chip down his health a little bit and backstab him. Or we could put out our police badge, although I don't see that helping us right now. Is he an elite enemy? Humanoid, he is elite. Okay, cultist, elite. Yeah, he's elite. Okay. So, do we backstab him? It would deal +2 damage, so that would take away half his health. I think that's worth it. I think we do that. I think we do that, and maybe... we commit this to it. See if we can really overdo the skill test and maybe get our opportunist card back. Oh man, let's see how that works here. I haven't taken any damage yet. I only have the one sanity, the one insane health, whatever it's called. What is this called? Sanity, right? I've only taken one of those. Let's hover. Horror, that's what it's called. I've only taken 1 horror because I had some mental trauma for watching my house burn down. Even though I was doing it for the insurance money, everybody knows that I had hospital debts or whatever. All right. In fact, at the end of that scenario, that was the easiest choice anybody ever made. Lita Chandler, who I would love to draw, was all like, "Oh, do you want to burn down your house to get rid of all these ghouls?" And I'm like, if we have to. I don't have insurance money or hospital debts or anything that I need, but I mean, if that's our only choice. All right. So I'm going to play these 3 resources and try and do some damage to this guy and see what we can do. He's got a health of 4, so this is going to be a tough attack because even playing this backstab card, we've got we're using our agility, our flight evade skill. Oh man, but we're not getting any buffs to our attack. We are, though, because we are committing these skill tests. Okay. These skill cards, rather. So I'm committing this, which will give me +2, because I've got the 2... Oh, 3, actually, because it's got the evade symbol. So that's actually 3. So do I need to commit this one as well? I might as well, because if I succeed by 3 or more, I get it back, right? So I've got +3, +4. So I'm at 8 right now to his 4 for this attack. So let's see what happens. Let's shuffle. See what we get. -1. Success. Fantastic. All right, so I actually did succeed by 3 or more, so this gets returned to my hand instead of discarding it. This, however, does go away. But more importantly, I just attacked him doing +2 damage. So I'm going to do 3 damage to this fellow, which is really nice. Because if I can defeat him, he's got a victory point value of 2, but more importantly, he's a cultist that we could discover. So I really want to try and defeat this guy if at all possible. I would need to successfully attack him 3 more times or get out some type of a weapon that would help me, but we'll see how that goes. I'm kind of low on cards right now, to be honest, and resources, so not looking good, but we'll see what happens. All right, so that's all that we can do. We are now going to be in our enemy phase. Hunter keyword enemies move towards me. They are engaged with me. And now, since they are engaged with me, I do take an attack, unfortunately. And he deals 1 horror and 1 health damage. Oh, sorry, we've got these little trackers. We can just do it down here. Still trying to get used to this. TTS mod. All right, so I take 1 damage and I take 1 horror. I only have six total horror, so this is actually not good. But we'll see what we can do. This is actually really bad. If I could, man, if I could draw that card where I do a dynamite blast to a connecting location, that would be really sweet right about now. Okay, that's the enemy phase. So Upkeep Phase, this guy wakes up and says, hey, why'd you do that? I don't like you. And I get to draw 1 more card. Ooh, I drew the Switchblade. There we go. That is helpful, but only if I succeed by 2 or more. Dadgummit. Okay. I could just discard it to get an evade, though. That might be nice. Okay, and then I'm going to get 1 resource. This is actually looking really bad. This is looking really bad, but let's see what happens. Okay. That's that. So then we go over to the Mythos Phase. 1 Doom, which is really 2 Doom, thanks to this guy. And we have On the Wings of Darkness. Oh, no. Test 4. If you fail, take 1 damage and 1 horror, then disengage from each non-Night Gaunt enemy engaged with you and move to a central location. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I'm engaged with the Night Gaunt, so he's like flying me away. Good grief. Okay, but that would at least get me not engaged with this guy, which might be helpful. Because he's got Hunter, so he'll come to me. But that might actually give me a little bit of time. I might actually be saved by this Wings of Darkness card. So let's go ahead and test this and see what happens. So first, test this. That is definitely a fail, equal to the Doom on the nearest cultist enemy, which is 1. So that's a -1, so I fail. So because of that, okay, sorry, this one should go away. Because of that, I will take 1 damage and 1 horror, which is real bad. I'm only 3 away from going insane. And then disengage from each non-Night Gaunt enemy, engage with you, and move to a central location. So this Night Gaunt flies me to a central location. So I guess I could pick any of the central locations, right? Or do I have to pick downtown? Rivertown, rather. I'm saying central means central row. So I'm going to go to the graveyard. You know, I'll save him a little bit of time. That way at least he won't have to fly me to the graveyard and then dig the hole. I'll already be there. So like when I die, he can just go ahead and be like, oh, let's roll you into a hole, skids. And then, you know, I save him a little bit of time. You know, I'm considerate that way. Yeah, green screen lighting is a bit, well, lighting in general, Ben, is real tricky. Like, I've got a kind of a janky setup here that kind of works, but even still, I'm a little dark when I lean back. And then, like, your computer screen can affect your lighting, but the light really bounces off of those green screens quite a bit. All right, so that has happened. And now I've gone to the graveyard, so let's see what the graveyard brings. After you enter the graveyard, test 3. Oh, what a decision I made. Okay, so this does have 2 clues, but man, does this have a bad... or stability. Holy cow, that happens every time you go to the graveyard. Jeez Louise. Okay. So unless I get a +1, I fail this because I don't have a way to boost my willpower. All right. Let's see what we get. -2, we failed. So I have to either take 2 horror or move to Rivertown. So if I take 2 horror, I'm 1 away from going insane. If I move to Rivertown, I think I have to take an opportunity of attack from this guy, though, which would still do 1 horror. But I think is that preferable? Good grief, I mean, is that preferable? So taking the 1, because I have more health, I think that's better, right? So I take the opportunity of attack. I'm 2 away from going insane, but I move to this location. Now I'm engaged with this Acolyte. So I need to try and attack him to get rid of him. Holy cow. Man, this is tough. All right. Who designed this game? I want to give them, I'm going to write them a firmly worded letter, strongly worded letter about the choices that they've made when designing this game. Look at that Acolyte getting ready to drink some type of blood drink. It's probably Kool-Aid. Same thing at church. We're drinking the blood of Christ. No, it's grape juice. It's not really. It's not really. We just say it is. Oh man. Okay, man, what a deal. All right, so that's the Mythos phase. So let's go to my turn and see what I want to do. What on earth can I do? I can play out a Switchblade. It's a fast card, so it doesn't cost an action to play it. And it would potentially help me in a fight. Let's do it. I don't think it's really going to help me that much, but it's better than nothing. That's what you do whenever you see a demon coming at you or some type of ghoul. You'd be like, "Hey, punk, watch out for my Switchblade." All right, so I've got, that didn't cost an action, but it did use my resource, but now I'm going to try and attack this guy. So I could attack him 3-3, or I could try and evade him first. I could just try and evade him and move away, but I don't really have any cards or anything that will let me do anything particularly awesome. So I could just try and evade him and then draw a couple of cards, but if that happens, both of these fellows are going to be coming to see me. They're going to be coming to visit. So maybe, maybe I need to try and evade him and run. Maybe that's a possibility. Although I think I'm just like delaying the inevitable at this point. So what I'll do is I will try and evade him first. So I've got a 4 to a 2 evade value. And let's see what I can do with my 4 to 2. Holy cow, 4 to 2. This is getting very difficult. Okay, I succeed. So he is evaded. And let's run. Let's go to the... Yeah, I can go to south side. Let's go to south side. Is south side connected to the graveyard? It is not. Okay, so he can't get to me. He can't get to me. Because that's not connected to... Yeah, that's not connected to the graveyard. To south side. We're good. So I flip south side. Let's see what we do. Search your deck for an ally asset and add it to your hand once per game. Holy cow, that's super helpful. Because what I could do is I could search for Lita Chandler. Oh man. Third action. Okay, well first off, I get a clue at this place. Third action, I do that. I'm going to search. I'm going to search for an ally asset. Leo DeLuca would be really nice, but the only problem with Leo is he costs 5 and he doesn't really help me attack, and I need all kinds of help with attacking. I also need that 45 automatic, like the air that I breathe. I need it so bad. Each investigator at my location gets +1. They deal +1. Oh my god, it's got to be Lita. She's so good. Okay. Yeah, it's Lita. No questions. Shuffle the deck. Lita is fantastic. She's going to be my first. The other thing is, Lita is free to play. Holy cow. While you control Lita Chandler, each investigator at her location gets +1 attack. That's so good. Man, all right. So I at least have a fighting chance. I have a fighting chance because I can do +1 damage. And if I can get some type of weapon that boosts my stats even more, I'm in good shape. I say I'm in good shape. I'm not in as bad of shape as I was. Okay, but we do have the enemy phase now. This guy doesn't move, but these two hunters do move. They move to the closest connecting location towards me, which I believe is this for both of them. So we've got a big group, big gang of monsters just headed over. Follow me, says the cultist. Let's go murder a guy. All right. They're all whistling as they walk down the road. Oh, let's kill him. Let's do it. All right, so that's the monster phase. They both move. And now, the enemy phase, rather. Now we're in our upkeep phase. So all the exhausted cards got flipped. I get to draw 1 card. Hopefully it's awesome. First aid. Holy cow. heal 1 damage, or horror. Ooh, I didn't know it did horror. That's helpful. Okay, I may need to get that pretty quickly. I don't have enough resources, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay. So that's that. I do get 1 resource. Let's see if I can survive this Mythos phase. So we're now really at 3 because of this this guy, and we do have to deal with an encounter card. What is it? Hunting Shadow. You must either spend 1 clue or take 2 damage. I will spend 1 clue because I don't think I'm going to get a chance to use this 3rd clue anyway, and I don't want to take any more damage. No thanks. No thanks, says Skids02. Oh man. Okay, Skids. Let's see what we can do. We've got 3 actions. First action. Yeah, let's play Lita Chandler. She's fantastic. I now have +1 attack. Second action. What do I want to do? Second action, do I want to try and spawn another guy, or do I want to try and run even farther to St. Mary's Hospital? It's a hospital. Maybe if I go there I can heal. Second action, I move to St. Mary's Hospital. That's connected, right? It's connected to the... Yeah, it's connected. Heal 3 damage. Limit once per game. Fantastic. Second action, I do that. Although, thinking about that, is it better to heal the damage or try and draw a card or get a resource? I mean, I feel like the 3 damage would be really nice, right? But I will technically have 1 more monster phase before they get to me, so do I try and build up? I think I want to try and build up. I mean, either way, it doesn't really matter, right? I could get 1 resource. Actually, you know what? I think I want to go ahead and use this ability, just heal the damage. So my damage is gone, and if I can get the first aid out, I can heal some of my horror. And hopefully try and make a stand to at least take out 1 guy before I have to resign the scenario, because I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to run out of the doom. If I don't want to let this doom run out. So I want to try and resign before the doom hits 8, which probably, realistically, is just going to be a couple of turns. So that's that. Those are my 3 actions. We are now in the monster phase. They both move 1 towards me. It doesn't really matter. So this guy moves here because it's not connected to, it's not connected to the hospital. These places both are. This Knight Gaunt moves 1 towards me. He says I can almost taste it. I feel you. I smell your fear, says the Knight Gaunt. So now we are in the upkeep phase. So I'll get 1 more card and I'll get 1 more resource. Oh, hospital debts. That was not what I wanted to draw. It's in my threat area. Move 1 resource from your resource pool to that twice per round at max. If I don't have 6 resources on this, I earn 2 fewer experience for this scenario, which means that I might earn 0 because this guy has a victory point value of 2. I don't think I've been able to kill anything else that, no, this guy doesn't have victory points. So even if I were able to kill him, do any of these locations have victory point values? That one does. That one doesn't. That one does not. I don't know about these. So really, yeah, I might just get no victory points because I don't see myself being able to dock away 6 on this thing. Let's see. All right. So next Mythos phase. Obscuring Fog. Oh, well, that's great. I don't care about that. I don't want to investigate anymore. I don't think I'm going to be able to... I mean, technically there should be a clue on this, so I'll go ahead and put that there. I should have done that when that location was revealed. But I'm not going to try and get another clue. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to have time to reveal another... All of these cultists are really difficult to beat. So even if I somehow am able to spawn another cultist and defeat, it's going to be really tough to defeat him. There's just... I don't see it happening. Okay, sweet. So, my turn. I've got Lita. I've got my drinks, my hard knocks. And I think, do I want to try and waste the time to play this out, or do I just want to... Yeah, I think I get 1 resource as my first action. Second action, I play this out. Play out my first aid. Third action. Oh man. Third action, I just go ahead and use one of these to heal 1 horror. It now has 2 left. And then the next turn, I'm going to be trying to fight that guy, I guess, if at all possible. I'm going to be trying to defeat him. And if I just get wildly lucky, the Night Gaunt as well, because I would need to do 1 successful attack. So I would need to do 3 successful attacks next round to defeat both of these guys, which I just really don't see happening. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe the bag will allow me to get wildly lucky. I don't think so, but we'll see. All right, so that is my turn. I've done all the things that I can do. Next is our monster phase. So Obscuring Fog is over here. It's attached. Actually, I'll just put it up here. It's attached to the location. We can remember that. And both this guy and this guy are now in my area, which means they attack me, which means I take 2 horror. I'm almost dead. And 1, 2, 3 health. 1, 2, 3. Holy cow. All right, well, let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Upkeep phase. I get a card. Lose all your resources. Oh, overpower. Hey, now that's helpful. That's really helpful. That might actually work out not too badly for me. Interesting. Okay, so I might want to use that on... Who would I want to use that? Maybe on this guy? See if I can knock him out. And then... Ooh, okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Because... So I do get 1 resource. But now we have to do the whole doom. We're at 4. Encounter card. Mysterious chanting. Place 2 doom on the nearest cultist enemy. Oh no. So really we're at 7. Oh my gosh. I've got this round. Which means I really need to try and defeat this guy. And then resign is what I need to do. That's what I need to do. I've got 1 round, you guys. I've got one round. Let's do this. Okay. First action. I will spend 1 resource. I will spend 1 resource to gain 1 more attack. He's got a attack strength of 5, or 4. So I now have an attack strength of 5 because I'm getting +1 from Lita, +1 from this, and I'm committing. Yeah, I'm committing overpower. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if I can succeed by +3 again and get this card back. I'm just hoping I can succeed at all. Okay, so shuffle. -4. I just succeed by attacking him, getting an even attack. Holy cow. I lose all those cards. But he takes 2 damage. Which means that he is 1 hit away from dying. So basically, does he have retaliate or something? Does he have something crazy like that? Cultist Elite. He has Hunter, 2+ health. While you're engaged with him, you can't... Okay, I can't discover or spin clues. Okay, no, I'm good. So, if I can attack him successfully, I will defeat him, and I will resign the game. That's what'll happen. Okay. That's going to be really tough. I don't have another resource to spend, so I'm at 4 because of Lita, and I can discard this to make it 5. So I'm at 5 to 4. Please be not a negative a million. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Woo. Okay, I defeat this guy. So I now have 2 victory points in my victory pile, and I've discovered 1 cultist. And as my third action, I will resign because I don't want to die. You don't want to risk taking too long, so you head to safety with the information you have gathered. Okay, so I didn't die just barely, but I did have hospital debts, which means that I earn 2 fewer experience for this scenario, which means that I just get no experience, which honestly I'm just grateful to have escaped with my existence. So let's see what happens. Let's get a resolution here. Boy. If no resolution was each was resigned or defeated, yes. Resolution 1. You've managed to obtain some useful information about the cult and its plans. You can only hope it's enough. So in our campaign log, we will go ahead and write that the cultists record the names of the cultists we interrogated, which was just 1. Cultists who got away, record all of them. in the remaining in the cultist deck or in play. If it was Agenda 1, record the Masked Hunter here as well. We did catch the Masked Hunter, so the Hunter was hunted, fortunately. The Ghoul Priest is dead. We burned him real to death. Each investigator earns experience equal to that. No, I don't. And then, yeah, that's it. So we managed to gain some useful information. And part 3 will be the Devourer Below. You guys, it went so well. I almost died, and I only managed to get one cultist. Hey, we did it. What a terrible outcome. But the cool thing about this game is that it's not about winning or losing, it's about progressing the story. I mean, in my mind, it's kind of about winning, and I definitely did not win, but it's also about progressing the story, which is great. So yeah, that was part 2. The Midnight Masks. Hopefully, you enjoyed that. Yeah, at least this time I barely survived the island, Arkham. Ben, because yeah, there was not much left here, and I can only imagine that I've never played Scenario 3. I've only gotten to Scenario 2, even back when I first started to try and learn this game, and I can only imagine that Scenario 3 doesn't get easier, and this was hard. So, thanks, Ruby. Thanks for that. I feel good. I feel like it was good that I didn't die, so there is that. I wish I had have gotten more cultists, but honestly, like even if we were to have revealed 1 cultist, let's see here. The next cultist would have been old Herman Collins with 4 health, 4 evade, 3 damage. He spawns in the grave. Oh yeah, of course. He's the grave digger. Choose and discard 4 cards from your hand. Parlay. Whoa. Parlay. I could have parlayed with him? Let me read up on I think parlay is like does that just, can you just like talk him out of it? Is that a thing with old Herman Collins? Would that have been a possibility? Let's see here. Let's see. Some abilities. Activate action. Oh man, I would have to read up on that. I don't know. I might have just been able to be like, hey, don't do it. Hey Herman, remember all that cultist stuff you were gonna do tonight? What about not doing it? He'd be like, you make a good point. Takes off his mask. Okay, well, anyway, regardless, that did not happen. So we'll see what happens in Scenario 3. I'm going to stream Scenario 3. I want to do it. The book containing all of Scenario 3 is up here, ready to go. Just got to do some setup, and we'll see what happens. I don't get to buy any better cards. I could if I wanted to. I have 1 XP left over, so I could see if there's like a basic card that I want to try and buy. But honestly, I think this is the deck that I've got going in. I think honestly, with the way that I've built this deck, if I'm able to get an ally out pretty early, especially Leo DeLuca, that guy is crazy good. He just gives you an extra action per turn, which is crazy. Then maybe it'll go better. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens in part 3. I'm gonna have also make sure and check on the channel soon. I'm gonna be having a lot of how to play content coming out. I just got a box from the Op with Cuphead and Toy Story and Mickey Mouse Food Fight and all kinds of different games that I need to make some how to play videos on, and maybe some preview videos, so make sure and check back for that if you want to see how to play those games. Cuphead is really actually pretty fun. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's a different type of game, but kind of replicates that Cuphead frantic side-scroller feel, which is pretty cool. So yeah, check back with those, and hopefully you've enjoyed this. Thanks so much for hanging out, Ben. Thanks so much for hanging out, Ruby. Wednesday? No, I'm not doing Wednesday. I think I've started playing it at church more frequently, so he's kind of scheduling me every Wednesday. So I don't think I'll be able to do it tomorrow. Maybe next week. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how next week pans out. The holidays have honestly, this is the first time I've been able to stream in about a month. So that was the last time I put out a video, and it was the first scenario of this stream was the last video I did. So the holidays were a bit brutal as far as schedule goes. But make sure and check back for the Cuphead video, and then hopefully we'll be back to stream this fairly soon if I get time. If not, we'll be around. Come hang out with us. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hopefully y'all have a good night. I've got to go to bed because it's almost 11 and I've got work in the morning. Thanks so much for hanging out. We will see y'all soon. Oh, RDTN Secret Squirrel Unwrapping is tomorrow night. I wasn't part of that whole thing. I should figure out more of how that works, because that did seem like fun. But I've been trying not to buy as many games recently, so I haven't really bought a ton of games. I bought a couple after BGG Con. I bought 2. But yeah, that would have been fun. All right, y'all. Well, have a good one. We will see y'all soon.